As someone on the border of Gen Z and Millennial, I've become fascinated by the linguistic style of the generation following mine. Specifically, a style of communication known online as Brainrot. Brainrot language reflects the chaotic, informal, and humour-driven nature of online culture, particularly among Generation Alpha, but also younger members of Gen Z. It's characterised by heavy use of memes, slang, and absurdist phrasing. Many of these terms have been around for decades or longer, but have gained renewed popularity or taken on new meanings. The term brainrot captures the playful and nonsensical vibe of this linguistic style. But if, like me, you're not exactly part of the brainrot generation, you might be scratching your head at what some of these terms mean. So I have done some research, and in today's video I will walk you through 25 terms. I will explain what they mean and how they're used online and in real life. This video is part 1 of 2, as there are just way too many terms to get through in one video. Alright, let's get into it.
Before jumping straight into this glossary, I wanted to first recognise the origins of these terms, because interestingly, the majority of them originate from one or multiple of the following 5 categories. First, we have fandoms, where fans created unique lexicons about shared interests. This can be fans of musicians, movies, literature, and more. Gaming culture. Slang and phrases evolving from games, especially esports and games played on Twitch streams. You'll soon discover that individual streamers are responsible for popularising many of these words, which is particularly remarkable considering how frequently they appear in the vocabulary of young people. Memes. Memes are images, videos, pieces of text, etc., typically humorous in nature, that are copied and spread rapidly by internet users, often with slight variations. Manosphere. The manosphere refers to a collection of online communities, forums, and websites that focus on topics related to men's rights, masculinity, and issues faced by men. These communities often discuss themes like dating, relationships, self-improvement, and gender dynamics. The manosphere has become a controversial and polarised space, with some parts advocating for positive change and support for men, while others have been associated with more extreme or misogynistic views, such as the incel community. AAVE. Many brainrot terms are derived from or influenced by African American vernacular English. And at this point in the video, I want to pause to say that it's important we recognise that AAVE carries deep cultural meaning and is a vital part of African American identity and self-expression. Historically, AAVE has been marginalised and stigmatised, but what we also see a lot of nowadays are elements being appropriated or commodified by mainstream culture. The casual use of AAVE by people outside the community, especially in online spaces, can be seen as diminishing its cultural value and reducing it to a trend or meme. For many, this feels exploitative, particularly when the same language was/is stigmatized when used by its original speakers. Academics trace AAVE back to southern US colonies in the 1600s. Among other reasons, AAVE was a tool enslaved black people would use so that white slave owners would not be able to understand them when they spoke to each other. This is just one reason why AAVE carries such important meaning and why it's important to read up on what terms mean and consider how, why, and when you use these terms and the implication that might have on Black Americans. Many of the terms I'm about to define have been described as new terms coined by this newest generation. However, a lot of them have existed in AAVE for a long time. And this is an example of what we see take place in almost all categories of Black history. Black people creating something which is later made popular by white people, and the world never recognises its true origins. Think rock and roll and all the hits Elvis Presley had, which were just lesser covers of songs created by Black pioneers who were barely recognised. As I go through this list of terms, I will let you know which of these categories the terms originate from. With no further ado, let's get into the list. Riz. Riz is short for charisma and indicates someone's ability to attract or charm others. Riz can be either a noun or a verb, so you can use the term as a descriptor, aka that guy has some serious riz, or as a verb, did you see him riz up that girl? You may also hear the term rizzler quite a bit, and this refers to somebody who has a lot of riz, aka he attracts everyone he meets, he is such a rizzler. The term grew in popularity because of its use by YouTuber and streamer Kai Cenat. He says it was a product of his group of friends' shared vernacular and derives from the phrase romantic charisma. Phantom tax. To phantom tax someone is to take a portion, typically 20%, of a friend's food without asking. The term originated from an online streamer called Phantom, who jokingly taxed snacks by taking bites of food from fellow content creators during streams. Gyat. A gyat is someone's bottom, most often a large bottom. Gyat originates from AAVE, and interestingly, the meaning of the term has experienced a semantic shift. Originally, it was an exclamation, such as gyat damn, an evolution of goddamn, often said in reaction to seeing a large bottom. Additionally, some sources believe gyat derived from the Jamaican slang gyal, meaning girl. However, most sources will trace the term to AAVE. Gyat has also been described as a backronym for girl your ass thick. Sigma. Somebody who is a Sigma is a lone wolf type of person who is successful, cunning, and independent, often rebelling against social norms. The term is potentially one of the oldest on the list. Sigma is the 18th letter of the Greek alphabet and is used in various fields like mathematics and science. In the context of social hierarchies, it was adopted to suggest a distinctive or outside role. The concept of the Sigma male began circulating in self-help and manosphere communities in the late 2010s, often discussed alongside terms such as alpha male, which leads me on to alpha. An alpha is a dominant individual who leads others, often exuding confidence and authority. Like Sigma, the term originates as the first letter of the Greek alphabet, and the term has been used to describe the most dominant animals in a group since the 1870s. We began using this term to refer to humans in the 1990s. Ohio. When you call something Ohio, you're describing something strange or unusual, referencing the US state known in memes for bizarre occurrences. For example, you might see a video of somebody doing something strange, and the top comment will be, most normal citizen of Ohio, or simply, only in Ohio. This trend started in 2021, but has since developed, and you will also hear Ohio used as an adjective, such as, you're so Ohio. The origins of this term can be traced to Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter. However, you could say that there was a precursor to this term. In 2016, a Tumblr user posted a photo of a broken bus stop reading, Ohio will be eliminated. The image went viral and resulted in tons of reposts, with users speculating what Ohio could have possibly done to warrant being eliminated. Mewing. To mew is to place one's tongue on the roof of your mouth to achieve a more defined jawline. You'll often hear people refer to their mewing streak, which is the continuous practice of mewing without interruption. Hilariously, the term didn't originate in any of the usual ways. It was named after British orthodontist John Mew, who started promoting the method in the 1970s as an alternative to orthodontics. Mogging. Mogging is the act of appearing superior to someone else, often in terms of looks or success. The term is derived from the word mogul, which has several different origins. Many believe mogging has its roots in gaming culture, where players might dominate, or mog, their opponents in terms of skill or power. Differently, in the mid-2010s, the term mogging became more widely used in manosphere spaces, discussing appearance, particularly height, fitness, or facial aesthetics, and reflects an obsession with comparative dominance. In bodybuilding and fitness forums, mogging is used to describe someone outclassing others with their physique. For instance, a person with a chiseled muscular body might be said to mog others at the gym. But overall, many of these origins are rooted in misogyny, which is something I didn't know until researching this video. Glazing. When you glaze someone, you give them excessive compliments to the point where it becomes overbearing and disingenuous. This is another term that originated on Twitch streams, with streamers including Kai Cenat using this term, eventually leading to users flooding the chat with the word when a streamer would overpraise somebody. Skibbity Toilet. Skibbity Toilet is the title of a 2023 YouTube series featuring a character with a head emerging from a toilet, often used to denote absurd or nonsensical content. The term combines the word skibbity, an onomatopoeic sound reminiscent of scat singing or a nonsense vocal riff, with toilet, referencing the central theme of the series, anthropomorphic toilets. The term skibbity, by itself, has spread beyond the original series, sometimes used to describe anything that feels similarly silly, chaotic, or catchy. GOAT. The term GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time. It is used to refer to someone or something that is considered the best in a particular field, sport, or activity. For example, Izzy is Trash is the GOAT of Brainrot opera. The acronym was first popularised in the world of sport. Muhammad Ali was often called the GOAT of boxing. In fact, his wife Lonnie Ali established GOAT Incorporated in 1992 to manage his intellectual property rights surrounding the term. Rapper LL Cool J played a significant role in spreading the term beyond sport with his 2000 album titled GOAT. The album cemented the phrase in popular culture, where it began to be used more broadly. Looksmaxing. The term looksmaxing refers to the practice of improving one's physical appearance to enhance attractiveness, often with the goal of increasing confidence, social desirability, or perceived value in dating and social contexts. The term combines the words looks, aka physical appearance, and maxing, derived from maximizing, meaning to maximize or improve one's appearance to its fullest potential. The term maxing is also used alongside other brainrot terms, such as rismaxing. Like mugging, looksmaxing has several misogynistic roots, and it's commonly associated with manosphere forums, especially incel forums of the late 2010s. Glizzy. Nowadays, the word glizzy means hot dog. For example, I ate like 8 glizzies at the barbecue. However, when the word was first popularised in and around Washington, D.C. in the early 2000s, it was actually slang for gun, especially a 9mm Glock handgun. This usage was widely associated with street and hip-hop culture and would feature in many rap lyrics. The definition shift began to take place around the mid-2010s, when social media platforms began to feature humorous takes on food, and the hot dog became a frequent subject of meme content. Various glizzy challenges on these apps would help cement the new definition of the term. NPC. NPC stands for non-player character, and in the context of internet slang, is used as a pejorative term to describe someone who is perceived to be mindlessly following the crowd, lacking independent thought, or not exhibiting individuality. The term originates from video games, where NPCs are programmed to follow specific behaviours and respond to players' actions, but do not have any free will or complex decision-making capabilities that the player-controlled characters do. In the mid-2010s, memes about real-life NPCs would begin to pop up, and eventually referring to people simply as NPCs would become a staple of internet humour. Cap/no cap. When someone says something is cap, they are claiming it is a lie or an exaggeration. For example, he said he can bench press 300 pounds? That's cap. And therefore, no cap means it's truthful, and is used to emphasise that what someone is saying is genuine, honest, or not an exaggeration. For example, he can bench press 300 pounds, no cap. Often on videos where someone is exaggerating or saying something that sounds like a lie, there will be lots of comments simply of the cap emoji. The term cap has been used in African American vernacular English for a long time, but it became more widespread in the mainstream around the mid-2010s. Rappers Future and Young Thug used the term in their lyrics around this time, which contributed to its growth. Ratio. To ratio someone is to respond to a social media post in a way that garners more likes, comments, and/or engagement than the original post. Essentially, the response outperforms or overshadows the original, signalling a sort of victory in an online exchange. As a personal example, in 2022, Andrew Lloyd Webber posted this video asking people to create a verse that got 38,000 likes. Then, I duetted it with a verse about him firing his cast via Twitter, which got 98,000 likes. So, Izzy is Trash ratioed Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it was my greatest achievement. As for its origins, the term ratio is derived from the mathematical meaning, where it refers to the relationship between two quantities. The use of ratio in social media gained traction on Twitter in the mid-2010s. Twitter's platform design, which prominently displays the number of likes, retweets, and replies, made it easy for users to see when a reply outperformed the original tweet. The word mid is a popular term used to describe something that is average, mediocre, or unimpressive. It's often used in a dismissive or critical way to downplay the quality of something, especially things that are perceived as good by most people. For example, I don't know why everyone's obsessed with Taylor Swift. Her music is mid. The term originated in hip-hop culture, where it was initially used to describe average quality green herb. I don't want this video to get flagged, but you know what I mean. But in this context, mid referred to mid-grade herb, which was neither premium nor bottom tier, but was considered unimpressive or lackluster. The term gained mainstream boost from the 2021 TikTok trend featuring a clip of professional wrestler Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who used mid to insult his opponents in a theatrical promo. Finna. Finna is used to express intention or imminent action and can be translated as about to or going to. For example, I'm finna go to the store means I'm about to go to the store. The term finna is a phonetic contraction of fixing to, a phrase that has origins in Southern American English. In the South, fixing to was commonly used to denote an intention or a future action, such as, I'm fixing to go to the market. Over time, this phrase was shortened and evolved into finna within African American vernacular English. Finna has deep roots in Black American speech and has been used for decades, predating its mainstream emergence, which happened due to its use in hip-hop music and on social media. Aura points. The term aura points refers to an imaginary metric for evaluating someone's vibe, charisma, and/or social influence. It's often used humorously or sarcastically, typically in online discussions to describe someone's perceived energy or impact in a given situation. For example, is he wearing those croc earrings? Plus 10 aura points. The idea of assigning points to someone's aura likely draws inspiration from role-playing games or video games where characters have stats for charisma, magic, or energy. Gamers brought the concept into meme culture as a fun way to evaluate real-life stats. Baby Gronk. Baby Gronk is a nickname for a young football player, Madden San Miguel, who gained virality on social media. The nickname references Rob Gronkowski, or Gronk, the famous NFL tight end. The baby prefix humorously suggests that San Miguel is a younger, emerging version of Gronk. The term has become a meme, symbolising high expectations placed on young athletes by their families, fans, or media. The term is both a literal reference to the young athlete and a meme mocking internet hype and exaggerated claims. For example, my son scored a touchdown in today's game. He's the baby Gronk of our town. Sussy imposter. The term sussy imposter originates from the popular multiplayer game Among Us. It combines the word sussy, a slang abbreviation for suspicious, with imposter, the term used in the game for a player tasked with sabotaging and eliminating crewmates. Sussy imposter is a playful or exaggerated way of referring to someone who seems untrustworthy, sneaky, or mischievous. In the game, players would often refer to each other as sus or sussy, and the term eventually gained further traction on platforms like TikTok and Twitter, where users began applying terms like sussy imposter outside the game's context. It became a catch-all term for anything or anyone deemed comically suspicious. Grindset. The word grindset is a portmanteau of grind and mindset, referring to a mentality centered around hard work, ambition, and self-discipline to achieve success, particularly in career, wealth, or personal development. For example, wake up at 5 a.m, hit the gym, work 12 hours, grindset mentality. The term grind has long been used in slang to describe persistent effort, particularly in sports, work, or pursuing success, and grindset emerged as an extension of this. The term gained prominence in the early 2020s, popularised by hustle culture influencers, self-help content, and motivational memes, often featuring business advice or fitness routines. A subterm you may hear is Sigma grindset, which is often used ironically. For example, skipped lunch to send 10 emails, Sigma grindset achieved. Gooning. Okay, how am I going to explain this one without upsetting the censors? Gooning describes a trance-like state of obsession, particularly in spicy contexts. The term gooning likely stems from the broader slang goon, which historically referred to somebody foolish. Over time, the term evolved to include a variety of contexts and connotations. The specific, spicified use of gooning emerged in online special interest communities, shall we say, where it described a state of losing oneself entirely to self-indulgent experiences. This niche meaning gained traction in forums and social media spaces. For example, he spent hours gooning. It's like he forgot the world existed. You may also hear the term goon cave, which refers to a private, isolated space where somebody indulges in activities such as consuming spicy content. Hitting the griddy. To hit the griddy is to perform a specific dance move that became popular on TikTok. The dance involves a series of rhythmic steps, including a side-to-side shuffle, while swinging your arms and tapping your heels, often with exaggerated facial expression and energy. The term hitting the griddy is commonly used when somebody is celebrating an achievement or having fun. It can be a way to express joy, energy, or just a carefree attitude. For example, you got engaged? Time to hit the griddy. The griddy dance was created in 2018 by Alan Davis, a Louisiana high school football player, who performed the dance as part of his touchdown celebration during games. The griddy gained immense popularity after NFL players like Justin Jefferson and J.J. Watt began performing the dance as celebrations during games. Grimace shake. The grimace shake term taps into the Brainrot love for the surreal and absurdist humour. It originated in 2023 when McDonald's released their limited edition Grimace birthday shake, and social media users would react to tasting it by making exaggerated facial expressions. It became a meme format used to express absurd or exaggerated reactions. Amogus. Amogus is a humorous, exaggerated misspelling of the name of the game Among Us. Amogus is used to describe the game's characters or actions, often in a bizarre or absurd context, typically in internet memes. It's part of a broader trend in internet humour that enjoys using deliberate misspellings or nonsensical phrasing for comedic effect. For example, a meme might show us an object or person that vaguely resembles one of the Among Us characters with the caption Amogus, to imply that it looks like an imposter. The term grew in popularity in 2020, not long after the game was hitting its peak popularity.
I hope you found this video interesting and learned something new. I certainly learned a lot, and I think I will reconsider how and when I use some of these terms going forward. Let me know in the comments which definition surprised you the most, and did I say your favourite term? There were a lot of words I missed, so there will be a part 2, so stay tuned for that soon. Don't forget to subscribe because I want to make 2025 my long-form content era, and I'll be posting more regularly here.